The return of human beings to humanness, the return of men to manhood, the return of women to womanhood, the return of man to love, the return of earth to its natural state of balance and harmony, the return of nature itself. When you hear the words border crisis, you might think I'm talking about a crisis at a border of a country, kind of like what has been and is currently happening in the United States of America at the Mexico border. But when you dig a little deeper into the meaning of the phrase border crisis, it has its roots in a paradigm shift. It literally means that beliefs of the old paradigm are in crisis, and the surge of truth from an incoming paradigm is seeping into the minds of the old. The old has become replaced with the new, and this has become the border crisis. This is what is currently happening to humanity as a whole. Every human being on the planet is involved in this conflict. Man's beliefs that have been instilled into him from birth have been proved to be wrong, both scientifically and spiritually, over the past few decades by a flood of new information that is pouring into our collective consciousness. What was once a theory has now become a fact for man to accept, and a paradigm shift is taking place. We're moving through the time scales of knowing. And this change in consciousness will continue to accelerate up to the point where some people will spontaneously realize the truth of the universe. On the other side will be a new type of human being who is more connected to the source of all reality. The human race has been evolving for thousands of years. Man is now faced with a choice. They can accept a new certainty about reality and will embrace the new paradigm that is being built for them, or they can resist the change, and they will have to endure a time of great difficulty. The changes that are coming are inevitable. They are coming at you in drips and drabs in the form of the latest scientific discoveries or technological innovations. You will hear words like quantum or multiverse, and you will be handed the latest gadget to replace your old one. The new paradigm will be sticking its nose into your head in the form of advertisements, documentaries, on television, or weird-looking sci-fi movies that will be making their rounds. It is everywhere you go and in everything you do. Society is being given a sneak peek at a new way of living. But unfortunately, not everyone will accept it as an improvement to the old. It is up to those who do to rise above the old paradigm and manifest the new one as it comes into being as an alternative to the old. The old will be fighting this change with every fiber of its being. As the old way of thinking comes crashing down, societies will become more and more unstable as the new minds take hold. So right now is a great time to start preparing for the inevitable revolution. This is the time to shift your beliefs, to shift the culture, so it can shift to support this new paradigm. But you must accept the shift. You must allow your mind to witness the shift. You cannot ignore it. This is why I said that this current moment in time is the great time scales of knowing. I'm speaking of any scale in which the heart of man has the ability to be aware of the truth of consciousness. What I mean by this is that at any scale, the positivity of the heart has up to this point been in conflict with the negative mind. This will continue for some time, but when it reaches a certain point, the negativity will start to fade. As the negativity fades, the positivity will begin to blossom in a new form of heart-aware consciousness. This change in awareness will manifest into the public consciousness in the form of a paradigm shift. You will see the most amazing minds of the current time. These people who are setting the trends in society will signal to the unawakened masses that something is changing. They're not doing this consciously. This is consciousness itself signaling to itself. This is the first hint of the coming chaos of the old world, as the old must begin to fight for its own existence. The border crisis we see in the external world around us is a result of the conflict that's occurring as the negative will fight against the new positive influences. You will be presented with the results of this conflict at a social level, and the old paradigm will go into complete shock. The collective consciousness of the society will be shaken to the extent of rejecting the new paradigm. It will be hard for mankind to accept this new way of living and thinking because the old has been clinging to this old paradigm for so long. It has weighted down the minds of everyone else who are not a part of it. This is why if you are enlightened beings who are supporting the new paradigm, you will have to fight very hard to overcome the negative resistance towards it. It is that resistance that creates this border crisis, because it is the border that is being challenged. It is the border culture that is being challenged. The widespread resistance is an indication of how deeply entrenched the old paradigm is. It has been part of human nature to resist change, but this time it will be different. Everything is now in flux. The old is crashing over the new, and nothing is solid. What has been will pass away. What is now will pass away. The only thing that will remain is the new. The dominant paradigm is collapsing. The new paradigm is resurrecting. The new paradigm is emerging. The old paradigm is expiring. And it's not if, but when. And it will be archived, recorded, taken note of. The old paradigm will be filed away and filed away, documented, archived, researched, studied. And each of us will be studied. Each of us will be archived. Each of us will be recorded. And then, balance, balance, balance. And the new paradigm will flourish at the border of the old.